Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I do apologise, I have a little cold, but I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I thought I should just mention it because I do sound a bit bunged up still. Thought I'd do a quick video today of the new Revolution Jelly Bronze bronzer stick that are kind of like a take on the Milk Makeup ones. I've not tried them before, they're still sealed, so it'll be like a first impressions video. It's been a few hours since I washed my face and put my sunscreen on, so I'm going to take this by Ren Skin. It is the Ever Calm Sensitivity Relief Mist. This is really nice for like adding some hydration to your skin, but if you're somebody that has eczema, sensitivity, if you find that you're allergic to things that are fragrance, this is a really good option for you because it doesn't contain anything that's going to irritate your skin. Give it a little shake. And it's got a really nice mister as well. You know, like the continual mists that you can get for like hair? It feels like that. You can hear it if you just do a long press. It doesn't smell very nice. It's like I've said this before with products, it's like rapeseed oil, which is fine because it's not fragrance and it doesn't last. It's just that initial smell, I'm like, ooh, don't love that. Sticking to things that have like no fragrance in is ideal. So for foundation today, this is the SWEED Glass Skin Foundation. It's a hybrid between skincare and makeup. Has a slight radiance to it, but I do feel like it dries down nicely. So I'm going to apply that today. I have the shade 05. Even though it's like a lightweight foundation, it still does give you a nice amount of coverage. I'm going to switch over to a Duo Fibre brush just to buff that in. I like that this doesn't really absorb much of the product. You can use your fingers, which I tend to prefer when I'm using this for everyday wear. I prefer to use my fingers. So SWEED Beauty is a clean beauty brand. I really like that. Vegan, cruelty free. Because this foundation is quite light, the shade range stretch across a couple of different skin tones. So one shade will suit a few different skin tones as opposed to like something that's quite full coverage or medium coverage. You kind of need a really good match. But this one, because it's a lot more lightweight, you can really shear it down. You're less likely to run into issues with selecting the right shade for your skin. So you can see that's like one layer and it's already evened out my skin. Even in this like super bright light, you can still see that it's evened out my skin. Upon Googling, it does say that there is some fragrance. However, I still really like this. I always still like to go over my skin with a damp beauty blender. I like to press that in and that just makes sure that there's absolutely zero streaks to the skin. In case there's any brush marks that I've missed or there's any excess product sitting on top, this will absorb it and it just gives you a much more flawless finish. The last couple of weeks I've really been enjoying the Borean Super BB Concealer. This is the new mini versions that they do with it. I also have the full size versions. The shade I have is Nude and these contain SPF 25. And I really love this because it looks quite like it's going to be thick and creamy and it packs a punch, but it doesn't look like it's sitting on the skin. I really like it around the eyes, which I, as you know, am not a fan of concealer around the eyes, but this like has been really nice, and when it dries down and sets in place it stays there all day. So I'm going to pop a little bit on the inner corner of my eyes where I'm a little bit darker there. Pigmentation, which is slowly getting a little bit lighter since I had it zapped. If you follow me on Instagram you'll see I put up some stories about it. Tap that in around the eyes. Take a little bit up onto the lid. If you've got a lot of redness on your eyelids where the skin is thinner, you can also take this all the way over. I like to just lift the areas that are slightly discoloured and slightly darker in the shadow. So for me that's this little natural dip here. So just tap around the areas. If you missed my video on how to disguise pores, I will pop it on the screen for you. You can blend it all out with a bigger brush if you like, but I'm trying to keep it in the areas that I find I need it the most. Just going to tap it in here. So it's just more about like the base today and the bronzer. If you guys have any requests for tutorials, please let me know in the comments. I've also restarted the educational quiz on my, what was called a community tab, and it's now just posts. If you've seen it, go and participate, it's fun. I ask a little question and then I will do a little explanation as to which is the right answer. So go check those out. So let's take a closer look at these bronze jelly tints. Now it does say on the paperwork that I received with these that they are in a sheer buildable formula, and as you can see when they go on, they are definitely sheared. There are only 3 shades available. This is the medium shade. I'm now going to go in with the deepest shade. The first laydown of this was just liquid, there was no pigment. So I gave it another go and I started to see a little bit of colour, but it also broke down a little bit of the jelly. So I had to remove it off my hand and then try again. The second attempt was much better and I didn't have this issue with the other 2 jellies. So if this does happen to you, don't be perturbed. This may just be because there's excess liquid sitting on the top of the jelly when you first open it. You can see with this lighter shade, a single swipe instantly gave great colour payoff. And these are priced at just $5.99. I'm glad we've done a really light base because I feel like if we had something heavy, this might actually break down the base because it's very, very fluid. I'm going to go with the medium sunset shade, which is the top one. You could definitely get away with the dark cocoa right here, maybe about an inch long, maybe just like in this area here, because it's slightly cooler looking. That would work as a nice shadow, so a nice contour shade. I'm going to use my BK Beauty 106 flat top foundation brush because this is synthetic, so you can use it with all manner of products, whether it's cream, powder, liquid, you can use this brush. It's also really nice for kind of stippling. I'm going to buff the brush straight onto it. Let's just try it straight on the face with this one because it is so light. I'm going to use a stipple motion. And I'm going over the area. So here's where we would contour, here's where we bronze, and our blush would sort of go here and backwards. Sometimes you can obviously go higher, but that's so subtle. Should we just try it straight on the face? They are very, very cool in, but this would 100% lift up your base makeup. You can see it instantly goes like a patch. It's like there's not enough fluid in it for it to work on the back of the hand. So you need to really kind of like saturate your bristles and then stipple. Don't try swiping with it, just build it up slowly. So on one hand it's really nice that it's super lightweight because I feel like it makes it a bit more foolproof, as in you can't apply too much of the product, but at the same time I am not sure how well this would last. I would be tempted to wipe over the top with a little bit of IPA because on the new Milk skincare products that you can put on your face, those ones you wipe with IPA and it doesn't ruin what's soaked into the jelly, if that makes sense. You can still reuse it. So I'm hoping this would be the same. So I'm going to take a little bit of that up higher and work that around the areas that we would bronze with generic bronzer. It sort of dries out really easily, so I don't think by the time you've like buffed it onto your hands that you'd have anything left that's like wet enough to place back onto your face. Try not to twist your jelly up too high because you can easily snap them, but just enough that you can coat the bristles. So the patting and the stippling is working nicely. It does take a little bit longer than a generic bronzer to start building up because it is so lightweight. So for those of you that are new to bronzing, new to contouring, like a very lightweight product, I think this could be nice. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to last and how many times or how many uses you'll be able to get out of it. I'm just going to keep building this up slowly. I've not set this part of my face. I only put a little bit of powder around here so when I was doing my eyebrows. So we will set that after. You can put creams on top of powders when you stipple, but this is really fluid, so I thought that could be a recipe for disaster. I'm going to take a little bit of it on a smaller brush just down the sides of my nose. So it brings a little bit of warmth to the centre of the face. I think it's very nice for everyday wear. A lot of bronzers are quite heavily pigmented. They dry down really well. There's a slight tacky feel to them, but they're not moving. I'm also going to use a little bit just through the socket of the eye. When I'm bronzing, I like to try and include lots of areas of the face so it feels more cohesive. So through the socket, around the circumference of the face, a little bit across the nose, a little bit on the chin, top lip, anywhere like the sun would naturally kiss. it helps to kind of match my face a little bit to this colour that I naturally have here from previous summers. I'm going to pop on some blush. I just reached for my Sweet Peach Peony by Nude Sticks. Now these are creams, so again I can use this brush, and if you want to try that, I have all of the brushes from BK Beauty, they're beautiful. I do have a discount code that you can use. Shonagh 10 will get you 10% off at the checkout. So again, work this on the back of your hand and then stipple it on, and that's going to give you the nicest application. So dip your brush into the cream and then top that either on the apples of your cheeks. I tend to sort of go in line with the outer half of my eye and then backwards for a lifted look. You'll see a lot of people now are applying blush quite high up underneath their eyes. Just another trend that will probably come and go. I have a little bit of this colour on my lips as well, so I feel like it's a nice way to create a bit more of a monochromatic finish. I love this formula. If you've never tried the Nude Sticks Nudies Bloom, give it a go. It's so nice. It has a very glass-like finish. This remains glassy throughout the entire day and it just doesn't move either. It's so good. So now I'm going to set my skin in the areas that I want to minimise shine. So I'm going to take a little bit underneath here, around the nose, sides of the nose, because I am an oily combination skin type and I tend to be oily there. A little bit through here. And then through the T-zone as well. So now we look much more flawless because we've put the powder on. I've used the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless. I love that. Kept my eye makeup super simple, just some eyeliner and mascara on my top lashes. And I absolutely love the finish. I do quite like it. For the price, it's so affordable. I will put these in the description bar for you. I think it's really nice and lightweight. I feel like I look bronzier, but it's not over the top. Some bronzers you're like, ugh, but this is so natural. There's a little feeling. It's not tackiness, it's like I can feel something there. Whatever is in it that keeps it sort of like jelly and stops it from drying out, that's going to remain there, but you can powder that if you don't want that feeling on your skin. But you can't feel it, it doesn't feel heavy. So I'm intrigued because, as I say, it's lasted on my hand, it's not moved. So I would assume that's going to be the same on the face, depending on your skin type. I really like it, I like the finish. What do you guys think? I'm going to link these in the description bar. I think they're super affordable. I'm not entirely sure, as I say, that the darkest shade is going to be darkener because it's such a light product. I really thought this was going to be heavy. When I got the blush versions, they came out like stains and you just could not put them straight on the skin because they were just so pigmented. So I was like, oh god, how are these gonna go? But I'm so surprised how light they are. They're kind of up my street because I like lightweight makeup. I like makeup that almost looks like it's not there, and that for me is when you know you've done your makeup well. It's when you get a compliment, but it's not on the makeup, it's on your skin. So I will link everything I've used in the description bar. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and let me know if you're going to try them, and if you've already tried them and what your experience is of these. I'll be very intrigued. I hope you enjoyed this little first impressions. Please give the tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you're new to my channel. My name is Shonagh Scott. I'm a professional makeup artist and I create content like this on a weekly basis, all to do with beauty and makeup. So consider hitting the subscribe button because it is free. If you want to shop anything that I've used, it'll all be down in the description bar as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.